Hey, this is Jenny Jones, Digital Growth Hacks Club. Hey, listen, what I wanted to do was go underneath the hood, give you another versus that you haven't seen before. I haven't seen it online, but I wanted to give it to you guys. If this is your first time here to this channel, please go ahead and like and subscribe, where I'm always doing these different hacks, looking at different tools, trying to see how you can grow, trying to see how you can grow your business and your bottom line. All right, so listen. So what I did was I own useArtemis, I own Tomba, and I own Leadrocks, right? These are all three different tools that are called, they're in the space of email scrapers. That's what we'll call them. We'll call them email scrapers. They go out and find emails to different companies and or contacts. These are B2B or business to business type of scrapers. So let's get into it. I'm going to give you, covered a couple of categories here. Just want you to understand it's not a hard and fast rule, but it's just what I found because I own all three. I just ran them head to head. And so let's go ahead and get started. Let's get right into it. First of all, let me just give you here. The first category is extensions, right? useArtemis has a Google extension. Leadrocks has a Google extension. And I gave them both threes because they just have, regular extensions, regular Chrome extensions. But Tomba has Chrome extension, Firefox, Edge, which is a new browser, or Opera and Safari extension. So I gave them a 5. They went above and beyond. We'll talk about that later and how that may be important to you and your business, right? And so I gave them a 5. 3 for Artemis, 3 for Leadrocks. Now, the second thing is domain search, right? Can you put in Amazon.com and find all the email addresses to Amazon.com? Can you put in AppSumo.com? Can you find all that? Yes, you can do that and use Artemis. You can do that in Tomba, but you cannot do that in Leadrocks, right? You can't do that in Leadrocks. You can do it in Tomba, and you can do it in useArtemis. I gave them 3s. I don't think they're the best, right? But I think to even have the ability to search domains and email addresses, I think that's pretty key. So I gave them both 3s. I think they can have room for improvement there. So there you have it. So next I have is credits, right? So credits is how many email addresses can you farm or can you find on any given month. So Artemis gives you 7,000, right? Tomba gives you 500. And then Leadrocks gives you 5,000. So Leadrocks, I gave them a 3 for 500. For 5,000. Artemis, I gave them a 5 for 7,000. But Tomba, I gave them a 1. I'm very disappointed in their. I'm very disappointed in their credits. There may be a reason why, and the reason why I think I'll just tell you now is. Because normally when a company uses other technology integrated in with theirs, there's probably a cost associated with it. So they have to be careful in over allocating too much. And there's probably a reason why. And if you look the way Tomba's going to do, Tomba does their research a little bit different than useArtemis and Leadrocks based on what I've found and what I've researched. So we'll come back to that a little bit later. Next we have is the database size, right? How big is a database? useArtemis says, hey, we have a database of emails of 500 million plus, right? Tomba says, hey, we have a database of 400 million, right? And then Leadrocks say, hey, we have a database of 100 million, but we got a database, right? So all three of them pretty strong, but you got 100 million, 400 million, then you have 500 million plus. That's their claim. So I gave them a 5. I think that's good. I give them a high score. I gave a 4 for 400 million, and I gave a 3 for 100 million, right? And so let's go on. So we got here, we'll call this email verification or email verifier. useArtemis has a email verifier, and Tomba has an email verifier, but Leadrocks does not have an email verifier. You can end up paying for emails that may not be any good, right? And so to me, at the end of the day, I think Leadrocks is more of a public information from LinkedIn. I think useArtemis kind of uses a lot of LinkedIn information. They lean towards LinkedIn. I don't think Tomba leans in on LinkedIn as much as they lean in on domains, right? That is their strength and their power of giving you email verification, because what they do is they use an algorithm that says, hey, we have other known email addresses that have the first initial last name. And we found, and we did some cross research. So if we were guessing this person, John Doe, then we would go J Doe or J.Doe at the domain. Tomba uses they use some additional algorithm on the back end and some additional research that's allowing them to give you good quality emails. They also give you a quality score, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So I'm gonna give them a 5 on that. That's what I noticed. I ran these two head to head, right? And that's what I came up with. Now, the next category is webhooks. Do they have webhooks? Can I extend it? Tomba has an API. useArtemis doesn't have an API. They don't have a webhook. Leadrocks doesn't have a webhooks, and they don't have an API. Tomba has an API. You can do a lot with that, connecting that API into some of your other tools. They may have an open API on the back end, and you can run your data in through that way. So I'm giving them a 5 for that, because now I can extend the tool a little bit further, right? So then next we have is team members. Can you have team members? Which I think is very important for a tool like this. Someone's going to be doing research. I need my VA or my virtual assistant or my secretary or my assistant to do some research for me. Tomba's giving you at least 2 team members on their plain vanilla package that I went across the line with those. useArtemis, no team members. Also Leadrocks, no team members as well on their regular basic package. So I gave them a 3. I thought they could give us more team members, but I'm going to give them a 3. I'm not going to give them a 5 for that. All right. So next we have additional enrichment. What can I do with the email address? Can I take it a little further? Can I take it a step further? Can I do some additional things with it? useArtemis, I'm giving them a 2 for theirs. They're supposed to be coming out with some other different tools to help with the enrichment. I'm giving also Tomba, I'm giving them a 2 on their enrichment. I think they just do okay with that. I think they do a little bit more when you can do some bulk. They both have bulk, right? Bulk enrichment. If you wanted to do that, you can do that in all 3 of these tools. You can upload CSV files and do some in bulk enrichment as well. There is no enrichment at all for Leadrocks, and the reason why is because the parent company owns CLOSLEY, which is another tool. By the way, all 3 tools are available for a lifetime discount in my actual description below. You can find all 3 of these tools, and they're all pretty good tools and use them in combination. But if you have CLOSLEY, then that is the enrichment tool for Leadrocks. Those 2 are just sold separately, but if you use them together, they work well. All right. So one of the last categories is the pricing, right? And so I'm giving useArtemis a 5-star because they're pricing for $69 and I'm getting 7,000 credits. I think that's pretty good pricing. So I'm going to give them a 5 for there. I'm giving actually Tomba a 2 for their pricing because it's $89. But you get some extra things with it. You do get the open API, right? You do get the email verification, right? And you do get the confidence score, right? And then for Leadrocks, you're going to get a 3-star there because there's a $69 as well. There's a lifetime deal. Again, like I mentioned, you'll find the link below. You'll be able to get that. So I looked at all 3 of these in this versus battle, and there is one winner. But before I give you the winner based on what I see, because I have all 3, is I'm going to give you some additional bonuses, right? Some bonuses is useArtemis has a LinkedIn outreach and cold email tool. They have a cold email tool coming soon, right? So I think that's a good bonus. Let me give you another. I didn't really have a good bonus for Leadrocks. I just think that Leadrocks, their parent company, is CLOSLEY. I think if you have CLOSLEY already, you tie that with a Leadrocks, and I think you're in business definitely for the 5,000 credits, but they only have 100 million database size. So you might want to look at that a little bit differently and look at that a little bit closely. Let me tell you, Tomba is $89. It's $20 more, and you're getting less credits. But I think those credits are of more value than you're going to find in useArtemis and and Leadrocks. And here's the reason why. They have a confidence score of the email. So they have this algorithm that goes out, it finds the domain, it tries to marry it up, and it gives you the last date that they saw that domain and when it was last used. They're doing some additional research on their email addresses. They're of more quality. If I wanted quantity and if I wanted to do mass mailings, I didn't really care about the emails. I can take them or leave them. I would go with a useArtemis because I'm going to get quantity. But if I want quality, I'm going to go with Tomba because Tomba, they seem to have it dialed in on these email addresses. They're just of more quality. You don't get as many, but they're of quality when you get them. They'll even tell you this confidence score that says, hey, the confidence in this particular email, it's not at 100, it's at 60%. We last seen it 6 months ago. We don't know if this email is still being used, but we're letting you know, or hey, here's 20, we're giving you 20%. We haven't seen this email used in 5 years, but that was an email address that did once exist, right? So those are the types of things that you're going to see in Tomba. So if you're looking at this on the surface, you'll say the best deal is useArtemis. They're going to give you 7,000. They have a bigger database, but I ran it head to head with the email verification. I just found better quality in Tomba. Tomba is giving me, Tomba is the winner here. They're giving me MailChimp integration, Pipedrive integration, Airtable, HubSpot. They're giving me Zapier, right? They're giving me Connected IT. They're giving me Ingramat. They're giving me an open API. And I also get a Google Sheets add-on, or I get a Microsoft add-on that I can do my bulk uploads. All I do is if I got all of them from useArtemis and I uploaded them in an Excel spreadsheet, I can use my Google Sheets and pull them in and do a lot of damage that way. And I have the multiple extensions, the Firefox, the Edges, the Opera, the Safari, the Chrome. I just think a lot more quality is going in on the engineering side and the development of this tool. Also, one of the things I did not like is the additional credits that are going out for additional for people that are making comments and or giving testimonials. You're getting additional credits. That's why you see a lot of testimonials there. Those are one of the things. I'll take the extra credits, but now I have to question the quality of the testimonials that you're getting. So you got to do what you got to do. But if I was going quality over quantity, I would go with Tomba. If I was going quantity over quality, then I would probably go Artemis if I needed to do in bulk. And Leadrocks is just, they're not that strong. They do, out of all three of these, they have the better enriching tool, which is in CLOSLEY. I'll put a link in that description as well. So you'll see 4 links in the description. Again, this has been Jenny Jones. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this versus. You guys take care. Goodbye for now.